Okay, I'm just going to make a quick tweet. Okay, let's check OBS. Okay, OBS is looking great. Okay, let's set up the Photoshop file as well. Okay, OBS and Unity. Okay. Okay, so you might have noticed by now. Okay, but before that, okay, good morning or good evening, everyone, depending on which part of the world you're from. My name is David, and as usual, I will be your host for today. Okay, so let's continue on from the last live stream session. Okay, so you might have noticed that I have added the sprite for the second character. Okay, and we have a name for the second character, and his name is Ro. R-O. Okay, so something that has changed in the game is that when you start the game, okay, as usual you will see the white sponge logo. Okay, but once you press any key from the main screen, okay, this is what you will see. Okay, so this is the current character selection screen, but as you can see, it's quite empty yet, and we cannot select the characters yet. So let's do that today. Okay, which means that first we need a cursor around the character that would appear when you select it. Okay, similar to the way the cursor around the character groups appear. Okay, so let's do that in Photoshop. Okay, which means that we'll need a cursor Okay, let's create a new group for the cursor. Okay, let's call it selection cursor. Okay, we'll create a new layer for this. Okay, as for the color, let's set it to pure white instead. Okay, so let's draw the cursor. Okay, wait a second. We might not need to do that, as let's see. -20. Okay, as we have a cursor over here, okay, so we are attempting to see if we can reuse the existing cursor for the character growth for the character selection. Okay, sometimes when I'm focusing, I might not speak much, but okay, if you want to ask anything, okay, please feel free to do so. Hey Frisky Echo, welcome to the White Sponge live stream. How's your day coming along? Okay, right now we are adding the character selection screen to the game so that you can choose from the multiple characters to play from or to start the game with. Okay, let's call this character bottom left. Okay, this will be bottom right. Okay, they are essentially the same image but rotated to different angles. Character top right. And lastly, character top left. Okay, we'll group these 4 cursors into one group so that we can move them all at once. Okay. Okay, now let's move them over to the first character and see if we need to adjust it. Okay, so luckily for us, the cursor seems to fit, so we don't need to adjust it. Okay, which means that it's time for us to go to the script to add the cursor to the script so that we can allow you to select which character you want to start the game with. Okay, it would be similar to how you select which growth you want your character to learn. Okay, so you can do so by pressing left or right or using your mouse cursor. Okay, right now I'm just finding the portion where we use for the character growth so that we can reuse for the character selection. Okay, so if you're wondering what the character selection screen looks like currently, okay, so whenever you start the game and you can press any key to start. Okay, this is the character screen for now. Okay, but we're going to add a cursor to the character so that you can select left or right. Okay, so to do so, we need to add some stuff to the script, which is what we are going to do now. Okay, so that character selection screen that you just saw was created over here. Okay. Okay, now we need to show the cursors for selecting characters. Okay, to do so, we can either do it in the scene manager, which manages the different types of scenes, or we can do it in the player manager, which manages everything, almost everything regarding to player characters. Okay, let's do it in the player manager, since this is also where you manage everything regarding to your characters. Okay, so character selection, attributes, okay, so it would be somewhat similar to the way the growth scene is displayed, where we would call the player manager to display the cursors from the scene manager. Okay, so first thing first, we need to create a game object, which is the cursor. So selection, cursor, okay, so a good thing about Unity is that wherever you edit the script, okay, you can change in the visual editor as well. Okay, so notice that there's a new selection cursor over here, and it says none game object, so we can just drag and drop this collection, a character selection cursors group which we have just added just now to here. So now we can do whatever we want to this group of cursors in the script. Okay, using this selection cursor. Okay, so we will need a new display character selection okay, let's call it display character selection. Okay, so the first thing that we will need to display is the cursor. Okay, let's see where we can do that. Okay, or we can pass in the coordinates when we call this method. Cursor point. Okay, so selection cursor dot. Okay, right now we are changing the position of the group of cursors we have just added to the game. Goes to cursor point. Okay, let's call it starting point instead, since we only call this method once. Okay, and we'll need something to say that right now we are displaying the character selection screen. Okay, of course by default it is false. Okay, we also need something to save the coordinates and where the characters will be at. Okay, so that this will be useful when we add more characters to the game. So let's call it character selection indexes. Oh wait, or rather coordinates to display selections. Character selections. Okay, it's a rather long name, but okay, it will be easier to understand. Okay, so since we have 2 characters at the moment, so we'll put 2. Okay, and the coordinates can be edited easily over here. Okay, so if we go over to the scene manager, okay, will be at 0, the y-axis will be at 0, and the x-axis is over here, -1 and 1. -1 and 1. Okay, so it has to be in the same order.